Oh.
Yeah, go. Sorry, go.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Mysteries Explained. Usually we're counted down into the show, and today I was just told go, so I'm going. Uh,
Yeah, it was a little weird, rough start there.
yeah,
But
but we're here, so yay, we made it. We
Stan the
had,
Man figured it all out.
yep, made it happen tonight. We had 2 weeks to where we didn't have a show because the 2 weeks ago there were problems to where people couldn't hear us. So we could say anything we wanted.
And
it
we
didn't
did. You don't even know.
It didn't matter. Nobody could hear us at all.
Nope.
And then last week we took the break for 4th of July. The whole network took a break off for the 4th of July. So I hope everyone enjoyed their 4th of July and they stayed safe out there.
And they got all their fingers still. That's what I hope.
Yeah. And we don't want to have those blown off fingers. But yes, so we are live tonight. As you can tell, live is always the best way to go. From Tucson, Arizona, and you got Becky and Dave, and Will's kind of around, but he just walked in the door, so he's kind of getting settled in, so he'll join us in a minute or so. So it looks like we're getting some monsoons.
Are you guys getting it right now?
No, it is very cloudy, though, and I've heard a couple things of thunder. So
we got crazy stuff yesterday.
I didn't get anything here. That's the funny thing about Tucson.
It is, yeah.
You can live across the street from each other and miss the monsoon.
Yeah, it's literally, it was pretty much, I mean, I wasn't at home when it happened, but from where I was, I could see how bad it was. I didn't know it was like hitting our area, so I called my wife. I'm like, hey, is the earth ending over there right now? Because it looks like it. She was like, yeah, it's bad. It's really bad. And there's hail and the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, Will just stated that it was raining at his work when he left. So, and it's not raining here. So we'll see what ends up happening. But
who knows?
No, nothing too bad to where I could blow out anything type thing. But
right.
I know on Tuesday it was crazy, and we got rain like all day long because Tuesday was my birthday, and we went out and we ended up being out in the rain a lot on Tuesday.
Uh-oh.
So I was like, yay, I get to get drenched on my birthday.
But you got happy birthday rain.
I know, huh? Which we need, though, so I'm not going to complain.
Right.
But it was nice. So a lot has been going on in the past 2 weeks. We rescheduled Ken, who was supposed to be on the day that we had the technical issues. And for those who work radio, I'm sure you understand that there are just technical issues galore that can go wrong. We never know. We can't always control it. But we rescheduled Ken. He's actually going to be on next week.
Cool.
So we're good to go with him. He'll be back next week. Tonight we have Mary Marshall. We'll set that one up. He's been talking to her to get her set up. So we're good to go tonight. And we are booking up on guest galore. I am so thrilled.
Guest
I don't
galore.
sit here and stress about getting guests for the show. We have a great lineup for the next couple months. We have people with ghost tours coming on, some paranormal celebs, some other, team people. It's just, we've been booking up, and I'm really looking forward to talking to them all. Great stuff happening, great guests coming on. We have some great things happening, too, that I cannot announce on the show yet, though.
Ooh.
But what I can say is that they need to definitely make sure that they're listening every week, because when we can announce it, we will be announcing it right away. So they need to be listening, checking out our pages, follow us on Facebook, Tucson Ghost Company, Mysteries Explained, and Tucson Ghost Society, and then we're on Twitter under Mysteries Radio. So definitely be following us, be listening every week, because we do have some exciting things coming up, and as soon as we can announce these exciting things, we will be announcing them. So, sadly, we were supposed to have a ghost hunt at Slaughterhouse tomorrow night that did get canceled. They didn't get enough people, but it wasn't really advertised very well, sadly. So it just kind of got shuffled away with everything else. Holidays and everything kind of take over when it comes to stuff like that. So hopefully they're going to reschedule probably sometime, after their haunted attraction thing. But we'll see what happens with that. But if people are interested in that public ghost hunt of Slaughterhouse, they need to let Slaughterhouse know that they're interested and to, do the event again, because we really don't have control of it. We basically show up and help out, but it is their thing. So if people want it, they need to contact them, not us, because I really can't do a whole lot about it. It's Slaughterhouse that does that. Another note. We want to express our prayers and thoughts with Grant Wilson. His mom is really, really sick and going through a lot. I'm not sure what's going on, but they said that, she only had a few days left, and that was a few days ago. So we want to send out our prayers and thoughts to Grant. I know he's going through a hard time right now. He hasn't been online, so kind of unsure of what's going on, of course, but
Right.
It's to him. And today is Dustin's birthday, and we've had Dustin on the show before. So
happy birthday, Dustin.
Yeah. And then Amy Bruni shares a birthday with me, so her birthday was July 10th, so happy
birthday, Amy.
Yeah, and then Grant had one on July 3rd. See, all the good ghost hunters
Grant.
have in
Happy
July.
birthday, Grant.
Yeah,
All these birthdays, huh?
Yeah, Grant, Amy, Dustin, they all have birthdays in July. They share my birthday month. All the great ghost hunters have birthdays in July. I'll just add that in there, but,
They chose to be born in July.
Yeah, you better.
Let me out of here. It's July.
So, yeah. What else? How are you doing, Dave? I know you've been pretty busy with things.
Yeah, I'm hanging in there. Just, it's just life. That's all it is. It's just life.
It's just life.
It's just life, man. It's ups and downs. It's busy. It's, it is what it is. You do what you do, and you deny it. I was just kidding.
Yeah.
You deny it at all costs.
Wow. We don't want to know what you've been doing then.
I don't even want to know.
We don't want to be witnesses or, questioned.
Yeah, no witnesses. No witnesses.
Yeah, I don't want cops knocking on my door. So do you know where Dave was? I'm going to be like, nope, I don't even know who he is.
No, I got connections. I can get out of stuff. It's all right. My wife, when she does something, she's like, "It's okay. I have a badge." I'm like, "But that's not fair. That doesn't help me any. It doesn't help me at all."
Well, that's good to know. Now I know who to call. Huh?
As long as you're not calling to tell on me for something, then we're good.
I'll think about that one.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so easy to pick on you. And we pick on each other, so, it's even.
It's even? I don't know about that.
Okay. I say it's even.
Of course you do.
The team's been doing a lot. We had a lot of cases that we just wrapped up. I think we're finally caught up and wrapped up on everything. And we got a little bit of a break until our next investigation. I know we have one in August, and then we're setting up another one probably in August. And we got some stuff coming on, and we're going to probably get a booked calendar again here soon. So it's nice to enjoy this little bit of time of being caught up before we go crazy again.
Yeah, you got to take that when it comes, man, and just go, ah.
Yeah, I don't have to listen to anything right now. I don't have to review anything right now. But we had a really great time out at Old Tucson, and I got some really great evidence that I'm really excited to take back to them. So that's going to be really fun to do that. It was
and they were great out there. I mean, they're really helpful, and everyone had, they shared their stories and all the good stuff, and they were really happy to have us out there.
Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to going back and working with them some more, and just keeping in touch with them, because they were great folks out there, and it was just the spirits out there. It was so fun. I mean, when you hear voices with your own ear, that's rare. It's so rare.
Yeah, it's even more rare to hear it with someone else's ear.
Really? Wow. I didn't know you listened with other people's ear, but okay.
No, it just sounds funny when people say that. I mean, I've said it myself, but when you stop and think about when you say it, I heard it with my own ear. Like, I bet you did. I bet you did.
No, I heard it with your ear, and it was
I
so
know it
amazing.
just.
No, but I know you guys heard things, right there in the moment. Will and
Mhm.
I heard, things right there in the moment. Really amazing stuff out there, and I loved it. I honestly didn't want to leave that night. I was just
Right.
like, I want to stay. But we had
It
people that
is.
were like, I'm tired, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah, it's a big place, and it's one of those places where you kind of have to stay there a long time to really cover it well. And there were parts that I didn't even get to, that I didn't even get to go to just because we were there for, the evening.
right. And the really weird thing about that one too is the fact that our DVR system acted up.
It was stupid. Yeah, that was
And
stupid.
we don't have that issue.
No, and you know what? Even if there are issues, we're able to figure it out.
Yeah.
And
And
there
we
was
did.
no figuring that out.
I finally said, forget it, let's go, let's roll, because we would have been all night freaking trying to figure out the DVR.
Yeah, I mean, what did we end up with? We ended up with two cameras that were barely working. Like,
Yeah.
period, just barely even there.
And then
And
one that kept going
uh,
in and out, just
yeah,
whenever it wanted to
I,
work.
I don't know. They were just stupid.
And we never have those kind of issues with the DVR, ever.
No,
And
and I mean,
for
we
it to
we
do that, it was just weird.
yeah, we traced back, all the wiring and all that good stuff, and I even unplugged some and reconnected them and double checked them again, and same thing. Say, hey, can you see it now? No, it's still black. Oh, it's real fuzzy. It's this, it's that. I'm like, oh, I don't
Yeah,
know.
we even replaced cameras and wires
Yeah, I gave
and
up.
still had the issue. And I was
Yeah,
like, okay, I quit. Forget the
yeah,
DVR.
exactly.
Roll with it. Let's just go.
Hmm.
And afterwards, I got to thinking about it. And it's like, okay, well, it's a movie studio. So people usually get paid to film there. Maybe they wanted money for us to put them on camera.
I don't know,
Maybe
but
next time we need permission and ask them if we can do it.
we all got to chip in like $5. Is this enough?
Yeah. We'll be like, can we just pay?
Maybe we can just bring some food or something. I don't know.
But, it is a movie studio, so, people pay to film out there. And, for us to not have our cameras functioning, it makes you kind of wonder, were they upset we didn't pay? Gotta wonder
I
about
don't know. I have no input on what the hell happened. I just know it happened,
this.
and it was frustrating, and it went on way longer than it ever does for us. So I
We've
don't know.
never had those kind of issues. I mean, we'll have like one camera go out and we replace it or whatever, but
Yeah,
not.
and you can usually fix it, pretty quickly. Oh, it's this, or oh, it's that. The wire came loose, or whatever it is. It's something silly and stupid is what it is, but not that time.
Yeah, that was just.
And more than one camera too. That's what was
Yeah.
annoying. It wasn't just one camera, like just for whatever reason. It was multiple cameras, and
Yeah,
we couldn't figure it out like at all.
yeah.
Dumb.
Yeah, it was frustrating. I said, forget it. I was stressed out about it. I was like, nope, no more. We're leaving.
Yeah.
We're not leaving, but we're leaving the cameras be.
Yeah.
So, but it was a really interesting night, though. Once we got past the whole camera issue, it was a really interesting night. And we didn't even get into half the places that had stories. So I'm
Right.
hoping, that next time, we get to explore some of those, because we even found out more stories after we had left. So it was like,
Right.
wow. It's just like the stories keep coming. So very interesting place. I love
And
it.
there may be more stories by the time we connect back with them from the time it's been since we've been there.
Right. Yeah, very interesting place. I loved it out there. I can't wait to go back. And I was thrilled to be out there. And it was a fun night. And moving on, I have to bring this up before we bring on our guest tonight. I had posted on my personal Facebook page some drawings that Will did for me because of the fact that Will does not think he can draw. And so I posted on the page his drawings that he's done. He made me a birthday card on Tuesday. He made me a birthday card last year. And everyone is saying he can draw.
Nope.
And he's still insisting. Listen to that, people. Can
Nope.
you draw?
Nope. Cannot draw.
I swear we're going to have arguments over that. Even people on Facebook are saying he can draw.
They have no idea what they're talking about.
I was going to say, and that's all that matters is what Facebook says. We all know that.
So what I'm going to do is I am going to post his drawings on Mysteries Explained Facebook page and on our Twitter. I might have already on our Twitter. I can't remember.
Is he drawing a middle finger right now?
Our Twitter. No, actually, I'm not. Our Twitter is at Mysteries Radio, and our Facebook Explain is at Mysteries Explained. And I'm going to post them, and I want everyone's input. Ken will draw. He does not think he can. Oh, and it is posted on our Twitter already. It was posted 19 hours ago on our Twitter. So I'm posting that as we speak on the Mysteries Explained Facebook page. Y'all give us, y'all. I love it when I go at y'all.
Y'all.
See, that just goes to prove everything right there. She's not even from the South, and she's trying to be...
Y'all want some sweet tea?
But you know what, though? My dad is from the South.
You don't inherit the freaking slang.
No, but I can admit, anytime I talk to my dad, from hearing him talk that way, I talk that way.
Have you talked to your dad recently?
No, I have not.
Okay, well, what's going on, man?
I don't know. I sometimes slip and do it.
Yeah.
I did live in the South for a couple years, but, you know.
Ooh, doesn't count.
Yeah.
I sometimes slip and do it. But, yeah, so I'm posting those pictures right now. If you all think that Will can draw, please comment and let him know that he can't. And maybe he'll start...
See? Like I said, can't.
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 Let him know that he can so I can prove him wrong.
Ain't happening.
I know. You're not going to listen to anyone anyway, are you?
Because they don't know anything.
Oh, my God. That is so rude.
They don't know anything. Well, technically, to get technical about it, anyone can draw. I mean, I just drew something right now, but it doesn't mean it was any good.
A doesn't count.
No, it doesn't count. But anyone can draw.
I can't.
I
can't draw a stick figure. I literally can't draw a stick figure. I make the arms uneven even. So.
She's just.
But you still drew it.
His arms are exactly the same length. So.
You don't need arms. You don't need arms for a stick figure. It's fine.
You don't need arms for a stick figure?
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever it is beautiful. We're gonna hang it on the fridge.
I'm not 5 years old.
Oh my God.
I do not want mine hung on the fridge when I make a stick figure with arms uneven. And
Good job, Becky.
You get a gold sticker for that one.
Exactly. Yep.
Speaking of gold stickers, we did find gold stickers. I used to always tease Tucson Ghost Society about you earned a gold star. And we did find gold star stickers. So I'm going to start bringing those out and taking them to investigations.
God.
And being like, here's your gold star. Especially because some of you like to make comments, do I get a gold star now? Well, there you go. I'll give you your gold star. Sound good?
Sounds good.
I can't wait.
Can't wait.
I can't wait. Assuming I'm going to get a gold star. I can't wait for that moment. That's going to be that's the one time in my life I'm actually going to go Facebook Live when I get my first gold star. Check it out, you guys.
Oh my God. Speaking of going Facebook Live, I actually went live on Facebook for the first time in I don't even know how many months. And we went live on this past Saturday. Most of the team went down to Rio Rico, Arizona, and cleaned up an old, forgotten military cemetery. And it was hot, really hot. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done. And David, not you, David, but another David, has taken it upon himself to basically clean the entire cemetery and make it look presentable again. And we tried to help him out. And then we had down in Rio Rico, we spent some time with David at his house and watched Ghost Adventures on TV.
Go!
I think so we could yell at the TV. I don't know. But we were watching, some of their locations, and Then we found a store and we bought some flowers and some little toys for the children's graves, and we took them back to the graves and tried to make sure that every grave had, a little something. Well, every grave that we could find at least. I never did ask you all, did every grave end up with a flower? Because we never ended up going down below to the lower part.
Yeah, well, as far as I know, everyone, because I think we had enough to cover what we could find, what you could see, because I know there's probably some unmarked stuff or some stuff that we couldn't even get to. Because
Sure.
it's not, I know that, even with what David was doing and what we were doing, that it wasn't finished. And I know that it's just an ongoing process in that place, especially with it being the desert and with it being right now the monsoons are hitting it. So all the weeds are growing, like crazy. And, as far as I know, from what we were able to find, yeah, everything had something.
Okay, good. Yeah, because it was a sad cemetery.
Yeah.
Opposed to a happy one?
Well, no, but
Right.
yes, cemeteries.
As opposed to a well-maintained one, I guess is
Yeah,
what you're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was very sad to see that it was basically forgotten about, and a lot of these graves just sitting there, and people have completely forgotten about them.
Well, not everyone forgot, because the people that remembered it was there, that's their little party spot, and then they leave their trash and stuff behind, their beer bottles and their food and all that crap.
Yeah, we found a lot of that there too.
Yeah.
But as far as people like bringing things to the graveside and actually doing nice things, yeah. So we wanted to make sure that was taken care of. I have not reviewed the EVPs from that yet. Have you gone over any of yours, or?
Yeah. There were a few things, but we didn't stay there that long because remember it started raining and then we just decided to leave. But there were a few things that kind of was like, But I want to go recheck them, because that was just like the first day or so afterwards, and I wanted to check them out. But they definitely need to be reviewed again. But just as a quick run through, there was a couple of things that stood out that didn't quite seem like they belonged, because we were the only ones there except for the people working behind it and traffic and stuff. So kind of listen again, but yeah, there were a couple things.
Yeah, we ended up cleaning. We took a break, ate and all that stuff. And then we went back to run the recorders and equipment. The only problem with the equipment it was still kind of daylight, so you couldn't see the lights on things too well.
Yeah.
I do know that I did get a couple hits on my K2 that there would have been no reason for that at all. But I ended up putting the K2 away because it was just so hard to see when it was flickering.
Mm-hmm.
I have not listened to the recordings yet, though. That's one of the issues. It's been such a crazy week. I haven't been able to listen to them. So I don't know if we found anything on recording or not. I know the guy David that's been cleaning, he's had some experiences down there. He says that his shorts or his shirt?
Pants.
His pants had been tugged on a couple times when he's near the children's graves. So, and you know how children usually tug on pants and stuff like that to get your attention.
That's why I wear a belt.
That's why, yeah, because you don't want deep hands, don't you?
No, I can't stand belts. I hate belts. I don't wear belts. I'll wear a shoestring before I wear a belt.
Oh, is that?
Unless it's like dress clothes, then that would look really weird. But then I have to wear a belt.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll go through, see what we find, and then we'll report back once we have all of that. Hopefully we found something, but we're planning on going back and helping out in that cemetery again in the future. So
yeah, that's definitely an ongoing.
Though.
Yeah, it's definitely an ongoing thing there. So it's any hope that he can get, I'm sure he would appreciate it.
Yeah, he's looking forward to having us back. So it was interesting though, and it was nice to help out. And then of course when we came back up to Tucson, we had to get stopped by border control. Border control.
We control this border, ma'am.
Not you.
Right? Even though you are a woman, you don't control this border. So what did border control want?
Patrol.
To see if you smuggled any spirits in?
Yeah. No. No, they were asking what the company was about and all that stuff. So
it says right on the van.
I know, Tucson ghosts. But they were actually asking if we went to the little ghost town that's in, I guess, Nogales.
Yep.
Oh,
So we
you
need
talking
to
about
check
Ruby?
that out.
Oh, there's one in Nogales.
Yeah,
Suppose it goes down.
I suppose.
He air quoted that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I got you.
So we'll have to research that and see what we can come up
We'll
with.
have to air quote go check it out.
Yeah, exactly. See if, air quote, ghosts are actually there.
Air quote. Okay.
Why are we saying air quote? I don't know. Well, we're going to go ahead and bring on our guest tonight. I'm going to add her to this call. Her name is Mary Marshall. Yeah, we can add her with no issues, hopefully. Skype. We love Skype to death. Right?
Sure.
Oh, yes. Especially if Skype's listening right now. Dude, you're the best.
Yeah, Skype, you're wonderful. I added her.
Don't get no better than Skype.
Yeah, because Skype is great.
Skype is the shit.
Yes.
You all are ass kissing.
Well, we're trying to get Skype on our good side.
At least for a little bit.
Apparently, Skype's not allowing me to add her.
Hey, come on. We said you were cool, Skype. What's up?
Yeah, I know. I've tried twice already to add her.
Well, what did you do wrong?
I didn't do anything wrong.
You have to have done something. It's not Skype's fault.
That sounds like my wife right there. What did you do? What did you do? It's not working? Well, what'd you do?
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe we got her now.
Mary?
Maybe.
Mary?
Maybe not.
No, Mary.
Oh, Mary. Mary!
What is going on? I love you, Skype, but you're a pain in the...
They're going to... That's it.
I know. Skype's cutting me off now.
You bad talk them.
You've been banned from
I
Skype.
Hello?
Hello?
Oh, there's Mary. I hope that's Mary.
Yeah, it's me. No, it's not.
I'm like, I don't know who that is, but I hope it's
Okay,
Mary.
then we got to let you go and find somebody else.
Yeah. We're on a mission to find Mary.
Hi, Mary.
How are you?
Fine. Welcome to Mysteries Explained with Becky and Dave and Will. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing okay. A wee bit tired, but okay.
Are we keeping you up?
Well, I'll let you know in about 30
About 30 minutes.
No, don't take it personally.
Oh.
No.
Oh. So I see you have your own radio show, and you do the paranormal, and I saw you did a few MUFON conventions.
Yeah. I'm no longer doing live shows, although I've been entertaining the thought of doing it again. But what I was doing is podcast, and even that, there just was, how it gets in life where there's not enough of you to go around. Something had to give, and it was starting to be me, so I had to give something else up. So right now, the radio show's to the wayside. But as far as, all the MUFON, and it's just, that's part of, I'm involved with the organization and, doing, speak at some of their things sometimes as well as other places. But yeah, I'm really curious about you guys too.
Uh-oh.
Okay. I don't know what there is to be curious about us, but...
I don't know, but right now I'm looking at a picture on Skype with your hair, and beautiful. Is your hair still that color?
No, it is not purple anymore. It's actually pink and purple.
I like it. I think it looks good. It's really
I always do weird things with my hair. I get bored of it, and I say, I want to do something new.
That's not true. She lets the kids play with Sharpies when she's sleeping, and she wakes up like, oh, I love it. You kids did a great job.
It would probably be a lot worse.
Well, there are those occasions she has woken up, and it has been a lot worse.
And Will's just laughing in the corner.
And it wasn't the kids that did it either.
Exactly.
Color I do on purpose. Thank you.
Well, it looks lovely. I think it's gorgeous. So
Thank you.
I'm one of those, though, I can't do that. I myself, I look at other people and I think, oh, that looks so pretty, or, that looks cool, or whatever. And then when I think of it to myself, I'm like, I'm just afraid that I'm going to look like a crazy old lady or something. Like one of the,
Well, eventually, don't we all look like that?
Well, you can speak for yourself, Dave.
No, so what makes you think you couldn't pull it off?
Well, I don't know. And the fear is that even though it's not light blonde anymore, naturally the hair fibers are still, because I was a blonde, that we've always been told that your hair is more porous. So if you put even like Halloween hair coloring, like years ago, I remember and it doesn't come out ever. It's just you have to grow it out. And so I have this fear of, well, what if I do it and I hate it, or I do look goofy or something? I can't change it unless I want to, cut all my hair off, which I have actually done before, but not. We're just getting into weird topics.
It's nothing new here.
That's how we roll. This is what we do.
Yeah.
I wonder if you could experiment on like maybe a wig or something first to see. I mean, I know it's not living hair, but some wigs used to be someone's hair. So I wonder if you could do that first just to see maybe how it would look and how it would be, and then I don't know if it'd be the same, but.
And it's one of those things, like, it's become, initially it wasn't, it was the kids doing it. Mm-hmm. And then we started taking over, and we, as the people above 20, we're just sort of like Facebook when the kids are all like, "You've ruined it for us now."
That's our goal.
Job well done.
All the things they ruined for us.
Yeah.
And we're just getting started.
It's particularly us poor women having them.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Women.
So,
oh gosh, Dave.
Dave's going to be that grumpy old woman on the porch one day.
I can't wait. I can't wait either. Not even knowing what's going on, just yelling at everybody.
Oh my God.
You're ruining my lawn. You're stepping on it. I never understood that. Get off my lawn. You're ruining
Stay off the rocks. I love those little signs. Stay off the rocks. I mean, dude, they're rocks. Come on.
Yeah. Maybe that's like they're probably thinking, oh, it's an insurance thing. They're going to go, darn kids, and then they're going to get hurt, and then I'm going to have to pay for it.
Yeah.
Get grumpy. I know that is the advantages of getting older, though. That part I kind of can't wait for either, because you can get away with saying anything.
I know. I so can't wait. I've never been able to do that, man. I just wanted to say it and walk off like, hey, that's the way it is.
I remember, I'm not going to repeat it because it does involve just a swear word, but it just shocked us all one time at a dinner table. My mom, and she said something about it, and she just was like, so about it. And we all just almost spit our food out when it came out of her mouth. But I'm like, she got away with it. She got to say that. Look at all these other people, and it's kind of cool because they'll either look at you like, well, they're just senile, they don't know, or whatever. You can get away with saying all kinds of rude things to people.
And I will.
You will. Huh?
I'm gonna have a checklist like every day. Every time when I wake up, I'm gonna make a checklist for the day. I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say that to that lady over there for sure. I know it, and I'm gonna carry it around with me.
There's you ever see, and I've seen you see it in person, but there's some great videos online of like these two old ladies that are I think they're sisters, but just how they just talk to each other. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Oh, you're a senile old bat. And they're saying things like this. You just go back and forth and back, and it just cracks me up watching it. Of course, I have to live with it. That's why it's funny.
It's even more fun when you do it and you're talking to someone that isn't really there. That's the real fun.
What Dave does.
Yeah, that's the real fun. Then people are like, I really don't know about this person.
You know what I've always wanted to try? You sound like a person you could do this. You'd be game for doing this.
Oh, I'm already rubbing my hands together, man. I can't wait. I want to hear it.
So get to a very public place, but with an elevator, and just wait for one person to be on there. And right before the door is shut, slip in and then stand right next to them. But don't look at them. Just sort of like stir head and then just sort of glance over. And as you can see, they're looking at you uncomfortably. You turn and look at them and go, "You can see me?" And then just watch them freak out.
No one's ever been able to see me. Oh, my God. That would be a little weird. But it sounds like fun. It does sound like fun.
As our meet you when the elevator gets to the bottom floor.
Right.
Just make sure you disappear real quick afterwards, Dave.
Maybe.
No trace
Maybe
of-
I'll hang around for the next person to get on the elevator.
I'm
See if they
thinking-
can see me.
I was thinking, wait until the elevator starts getting really crowded and go, "You can all see me?
Yeah.
I'm not dead?"
Yeah,
No.
exactly. Be like, I've been trying, but I didn't think anybody could see me.
I've been on this elevator for 9 years. Oh my God. Thank you.
That'd be horrible.
The curse is broken.
Afterlife.
That would be terrible. To be stuck on an elevator, like that's just your life now in the afterlife or whatever, you're just stuck there. Yeah, that would suck. Especially if you don't like elevators.
Or their music.
Oh, that would be it for me.
Get elevator music on.
Oh, that would be it. Oh man. You had to throw the music in there, didn't you?
Your jams there, Dave.
Huh?
Thought it played your favorite music.
No, not all of them. All of them do not, surprisingly. No, they don't.
Just the one that plays Pretty Woman?
See, I can deal with that because I'm comfortable with that now. Before I became whatever that is.
Pretty woman in
that
a pink dress.
That would have bothered me, but now I'm cool with it.
You're owning
You've
that now.
embraced it.
I might as well.
All right. Well, let's get back to
Almost there.
Barry. So it sounds like you definitely have a lot that you have done. I totally understand you when you say that, something's got to give. Will always says that I do too much too, and I'm going to wear myself thin, but we got to do what we got to do.
Yes. And, and you want to do it and you try your best. And then, you have those moments though, where you feel, that you're not succeeding because you are spread so thin. And that's when you have to start making some smarter choices, which don't do a lot necessarily.
Well, now that's out there.
Might know the right way. That doesn't mean I listen to it all the time. But yeah, it's just, you've got normal things in life and different work and family and all those things. And I just do have such a passion for for the field. And I kind of fluctuate because I did it. I'm involved with MUFON, but I'm also involved in the cryptid world as well as the paranormal. And then of course that, goes into teaching the paranormal and all that sort of thing. But yeah, it just becomes like, all right, how am I going to balance it? And I don't know that I do it well, but I certainly do try.
That's all you can do, man.
It's the paranormal MD.
Yeah, I'm not a doctor.
How?
Right.
You want to explain how you got that?
That's a combination of things. MD was my initials for my first and my last name. And kind of poking fun at myself via the family of the paranormal married, and that's how some of that. But then it was the MD was something oddly that just stayed with my whole life. Like there were things like I had that had the MD in it that really applied to, other names. And so it just was something that carried through. So when one day when I realized, I guess, you better join the world and put a website up. And, now you're stuck with some sort of official name. And so that's how it all started. And initially it was starting as an information, like a science information website in regards to the paranormal. Then it became part of the team website. And, it just evolved over time. But yeah, the MD, that was my initials, and I was kind of poking fun at myself. And there's no such thing as a medical doctor, paranormal medical doctor. But if there was, I'd probably be the darn closest to it. So why not? I diagnose, I treat, I look at the symptoms, and I research. So here you go.
Very cool. Now, how long have you been doing this?
I have been doing this since around, I've been in the field for, this is probably about 17, 18 years. 18 years. And then I have actually researched much longer. It just that I didn't take it to the field. And the researching, that's kind of what drove me, because when I started, that was like the 90s, there wasn't a lot out there. First of all, the internet was in its infancy, so there really wasn't a whole lot. So you were going to the library, looking for information.
And for people that are, under 20, a library is a building with books.
But, right? Because, 95 was when PCs, like Windows, came out. That was the first thing. That was 95. And even then, how the internet was being integrated. It was just little baby then. So, it was just, there wasn't a lot. It was very, not that there's anything wrong with it, but metaphysical and spiritual approach. There wasn't a lot of reference to science or other types of, but I'm going to say science, because different fields within the scientific community. And in that, my thing with it is I got to a point where it's no longer about, and even after I started with around 2000 going out, that wasn't the initial thing, but very quickly, I just saw so many problems with how they were being done. And everybody said, well, there's no right way. Certainly it's not. There's definitely our right way. In that, and if you look at the scientific field, we cannot do perform experiments truly in a scientific way, because the scientific method dictates you repeat the same thing over and over and over. And we can't do that. It's such a random phenomenon that occurs. However, we can use the basis of that. And so I saw a lack of controls and things going on and wanted to do that. Shortly after that, it then turned into, don't worry about the yes, the curiosity just raging. How possible? What the that. So that's how I really started doing some in-depth studying. I studied neurology. Really started in I noticed over like a 2-year period that people, where they would be out investigation, would grab their head, but they were always grabbing to the left side or the frontal lobe, the forehead. And so I started wondering, nobody's ever grabbing the right side. And people's answers would be, oh, this must be how they died. They fell down and they hit their head or, something. They're picking this up. And it certainly, again, could have been. So I started looking at what's going on. I wanted to know what was going on inside our heads and our noggins, so to say, and that led to discovering what, the frontal lobe does and the temporal lobe does and different parts of the brain in relation to that. And then, the 101 ways your brain is going to trick you and how it's designed to work and run. And this leads to not people go, well, how does this relate directly to paranormal? How are those experiences influencing us, and how are we either in a conscious or subconscious level influencing them? So then it got into studying of, which just absolutely crazy, because if you would have asked me, when I was 20 that I would have been studying physics, I would have just laughed hysterically. But then I started studying that and gravitated to the quantum world, and things just took off from there. So that's kind of real, and that kind of is still kind of my thing, because you have to look at some of the commonalities. And that's one of the reasons why, not just why, but, one of the reasons of being involved with other fields other than just the ghost world, say, and getting involved in is what do all this phenomena have in common? Now you see it, now you don't. That really is about mind. Every single thing that's what we have in common. Why is it? And so that starts leading you to things like multiple dimensions and multiverse, wormholes. So there you go. There was a whole spiel, huh?
Yeah. And I want to apologize if people are hearing some interference. We're getting some here and there. So just to kind of let people know, we do apologize for that. We're trying to take care of that. But we're going to keep calling and hopefully that'll get taken care of. I know people can still hear us, so that's a good thing. There's static from background. Get taken care of here soon. But yeah, it sounds like you have a huge background in a lot of this stuff, and it sounds like you were doing all this before it was considered a cool thing to do.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Oh gosh, are we having problems with hearing each other now?
Oh, you have a problem hearing me too?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to get that straightened out.
Yeah, let's you're going to work on that. Dave, why don't you talk to Mary while we try to take care of that issue?
Will talk to Mary.
I can hear you.
You can hear me? That's awesome.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. Maybe it's not, but.
Take it away, then, Dave.
But what?
Take it away then, Dave.
Take it away. Take it away. Well, it's interesting, some of the concepts that you brought up, and the questions that you have regarding how things are connected and how things are related, because I've wondered about that stuff forever. Like, are they connected? Are they related? And if so, how did they get that way? And one of the questions you had that you spoke about was, how are they affecting us, or can we affect that?
Yeah.
And I don't even know where to begin, with trying to figure that out. So where do you start? I mean, have you gotten anywhere? How far have you gotten with that?
Well, a lot of things always come down to money.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you need equipment, or you need both of us can't afford have access. One of the things, honestly, and I this is what I've done from day one. It's like I just throw things out there, and I always hope somebody's listening that'll do it. Just I can't. I'm not. One of those people. I cheer the other person on. One of the things I think is just critical that we really need to do is to to, and there are variations out there, if we can all get, like, have our brain, there's caps that you can get where you can read the brain waves. It's like
Right.
something like that. But the reason for that is they do have mobile. If you can remotely send this back to laptop, I think that every person on an investigative team, or whoever it is that is out there doing an investigation, needs to have this done and run through the whole night. And obviously, this is something that has been repeated, multiple times by multiple people.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason for that is that, let's say, whatever it is that you maybe even personally experience, whether it's seeing something or hearing something, or maybe you're not even aware at the moment that you're capturing an EVP on your audio recorder.
Right.
Everything's timestamped, so you'd be able to tell.
Mm-hmm.
And compare this to what our brain is doing at the time. So, do we start responding? Is there an influence in different areas of the brain? Probably going to be in the temporal lobe area, just because of communication and memory and all that sort of thing. That sorry, I had to move. Hang on, I got to move my ear thing. Are we responding to this a minute before, 10 seconds before, whatever phenomenon, whatever happens? Or is it that we are responding right on time? And would we even respond? What happens? Because I think this is going to be really telling to see if you start putting things in there that in quantum physics, that what happens is that it's like the Schrodinger cat, thing. That what happens is that our observation, and it's not just in that, I mean, this is across the board. The simple observation changes the outcome of the experiment.
Right.
So if this is the case, is our simple observation of whatever is happening actually, if we start responding to it before it's happening, even if it's by 10 seconds, are we affecting what we may be seeing or feeling or witnessing? Is there an intercommunication of energy? And more than likely there is. You have to think of things like they have done different experiments out there where, and it could even be as simple as this, where someone has their back to you, you can put a glass door between you, whatever, that, to make controls proper, and just simply have the person with the back sitting with a clicker or verbally saying it, and the other person, the examiner, looks at them, concentrates on while they're looking at them and saying their name, and then at the other moment looks down at the paper and thinks of something completely different, and the person who is being observed just simply has to say watching, not watching, or looking, not looking. And what that means is, think about how many times you've been in maybe a crowded location, a mall, some sort of outdoor park or whatever, and you just have had that feeling, and you go and you look, and it could be a whole crowd of people, and sure enough, you look right at you. We've all had that experience where you look and it's like you don't think about it at the time, but there's this energy connection. So it would be interesting to see as our energy influencing, because we still don't really know. We don't know anything for a fact. When, let's say it's a full-bodied apparition, do they have everything that they need to project to us how they want to be seen? Or are they tapping into our own memory? There are tens of thousands, really actually probably up to close to a ridiculous amount, much, much higher than that, of images and audio and so on that we take in each day. That is simply, we don't consciously register it, but it's there. So are they using this to build upon? There's a lot of different ways you could look at that. So it's kind of like you first have to see what is part of the brain is responding, when is it responding, and then from there redevelop the next direction for our experimenting on that.
Right, and it makes sense too, because you have to wonder, would they even be able to appear if there weren't a person there to see, to allow it to happen, to help it to happen, to engage in that moment with them? So it makes you wonder, would that have even happened? Right.
I mean, it's sort of like, if you talk to like psychic mediums, they'll tell you that, a lot of people will go to the cemetery to visit their loved ones, but the psychic mediums will tell you that, they're not there. Your loved ones followed you there because they know you wanted to talk to.
Yeah.
So it is that kind of mentality of our observation, our desire for certain things. We still don't even know for sure. Can they appear in multiple places at the same time? It's, there's just so many unanswered questions. And the only way to really do it is by at least trying to use a scientific method and the best controls we can in developing experiments beyond, and not that we need these too, but beyond, if I do this and the flashy light flashes, this means this is cool.
Yeah.
We're communicating, and that's great. And I don't mean to dismiss that type of experiment, but we really kind of need to go beyond that now.
It's kind of like out of your comfort zone type of stuff.
Yeah,
for sure. And it's kind of like when you think about the whole deja vu thing, like I guess there's a whole lot of scientific evidence that supports the fact that, I don't even know if it's a fact. To me, it's like my brain can't grasp it enough to say, yeah, I'm on board with that. Just the idea that those things have already happened. Like your brain is they just happened, not like years ago or whatever, but they just happened. And your brain, there's a delay, like a little catch up. Your brain has to catch up to, what just happened. And that's why it seems like a memory from a long time ago. And I don't know how much I agree with that because it's too weird to me.
Okay. Well, and I'm not saying that in any way, even just because you're talking about it just made me think of this now. There's something like supposition, which means everything exists in all states at all times. So is it possible, whether it's something like deja vu or residual ghost activity, that versus it being trapped energy, let's say in a residual ghost situation, or energy left behind, which a lot of people go by that, and I always say this, in addition, because it doesn't have to be one or the other. That's the thing, is a lot of times we could have this, like paranormal melting point, be several different things actually all going on at that moment. Which one is it? Who knows? But anyway, if it's residual ghost, is it possible that rather than it being trapped or left behind imprinted energy, that we're looking at it through a tear, so to say, in the fabric of time, in dimensions? All time is occurring at once. This is kind of like it's not a scientific fact, but it's a scientific theory that everybody operates on. So if that's the case, it is certainly possible that if we see the woman come down the stairs, maybe in some sort of, turn the center, walk to the stove, grab the pot, and as she turns, she fades away. And this is going to happen whether you're there or not. We go, oh, well, that's just like a picture, a moving picture. It's not even real. They're just left behind. What if it is real, but we're looking at this woman and we're only seeing 10 seconds because that's all that's been afforded for us to see of her on September 3rd, 1933 at 3:33 p.m.
It was 1934.
There you go.
But no, it's too interesting to think, so deeply into it. But at the same time, my mind went to, well, what if it's only real if you make it real? Like what if she's not even there, or she doesn't really appear to be there unless you're there to make it happen? And I keep going back to that, and I don't know. It just bugs me because I don't know. But then again, there's been things that have been captured on video of those things happening where no one was there. So that kind of, sweeps that out the door. But it's very weird just to think about how, because especially when you brought up the fact that things are occurring in different times. Everything's going on like right now, like everywhere.
Yeah.
And
past, future, and present all occurring at the same time. Do you know that there's experiments that they've done when they've done measuring? And because we all have the idea that, obviously our past makes our present.
Mm-hmm.
But what we're not aware of is that our future as well influences just directly our present as well. And that sounds like crazy science fiction stuff.
A little bit, yeah.
Well, what they've done is when taking in quantum physics, when they've tried to do measurements between looking at particles, waves, the duality thing, and not until it's observed does it turn into one or the other. So again, the observation changes the outcome. But when they did the measurements on this, not until they got, I'll say it this way, they did measurement 1, 2, and 3. When they finished and got to 3, they went back and 2 had changed. But it didn't change until 3 happened. And they've done, and this is science, so this is something they're doing over and over, and it's not some one guy in his garage, in Hoboken or something, I don't know, doing
right.
It. So these are universities,
New Jersey,
across the country doing it, world. So what this indicates is that not only does the past influence and make our present, but the future does as well. And so it's really trippy, but at this point there is no explanation as to other than the acceptance that all time occurs at once. And so it is that skipping. So as soon as one thing happens, it affects the next, the next, the next, all at the same time. The observer generally will not notice anything different. But when you can take, in a sense, some sort of types of measurements, then you can sort of see the difference. I always talk about this in when I'm doing, well, it depends on what lecture-y type thing I'm doing or what I'm talking about. But this is one of those things of where we're just talking about the future influencing the present as well as the past doing that. Mm-hmm. There's also experiments going on in which, and this is totally sounds like science fiction again, and it's not, because we're doing it right now. We all know about cloaking. Military uses it, and there's other things that cloaking. Well, this is a different type of cloaking. It cloaks events in time. It cloaks time. Now, here's the tricky part. We can only do it for about 120th of a nanosecond right now. Yeah, right. But the fact is, we can do it. So in 20 years, when we have quantum computing, what are our capabilities going to be? And we are that close. Because our learning is going to go, the rate is just going to go off the charts at how quickly we can know things. So what is our capability going to be in 50 years or 100 or 500 years from now? So we might only be able to do it for 120th of a nanosecond right now, but in 100 years, we might be able to sustain that for longer periods of time.
Like 4 seconds.
Like 4 seconds. Isn't that 4 seconds enough for you to see a residual?
It is. It is. Or at least for me to question whether I saw it or not.
Question or saw it or not, or was it a residual?
Yeah.
You know, and it gets into, and the reason again, to bring that up and how that relates to the paranormal is that if we've determined that the past and the future make our present, and you have experiments like this, which, by the way, are done by extreme manipulation of electromagnetic fields. And we are doing this over and over again through the years. What is this doing to the core of the universe? And I say it that way in how it's made.
Mm-hmm.
And how all these things are going to affect so that we could experience more of these tears, if you know, for lack of a better way, or portals in time. If you put in things like gravitation, which is something that I've kind of was working on, gravitational field distortion, and put all these little pieces to the puzzle together, it really, really starts to indicate that we have a huge part in not the cause, not the phenomenon, but for us being able to witness it, you know, and have certain interactions with that. I really think this is something that over this century is going to increase people's experiences, and that is going to be because we're playing around with the fabric of the natural course of the universe with all this extreme manipulation of electromagnetic fields and so on and so on, and all this other weird heady stuff. So yeah.
Well, and then you think about, what if we took that further and took it to another, I want to say another location, like another dimension or another place there we haven't been to, and you know what I mean? And I don't know if we would even need to go anywhere, since it all exists at the same time. And there's just different fabrics, but we can only do so much right now. But in the future, like you were mentioning, when this all progresses and we all kind of get it and it all just starts to flow, what if? Oh, there's just too many what ifs. I'm just going to stop now. I'm just like, what if?
Right.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the it can almost make you crazy part, but it's also, for me, and I think a lot of us, the kind of the fun part. You are speculating, but you are basing it on real science, and and trying to think, where is this going to go as time goes on? Right. You know, where are we going to end up at? Honestly, if you had to think about this, if we had the kind of interaction that we keep trying to have, desire, where we're, basically, hey, just come and have a conversation, sit down, talk to me, Mr. or Mrs. Ghost, kind of thing.
Yeah. I wish.
The chaos. What kind of chaos would ensue?
Exactly. Yep.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I do.
So there's just all those types of, bizarre questions that you have like that.
Well,
so, but it's so, yeah.
No,
okay. Can you all hear us now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so we are back. So Will's been trying to jump in here. He's got something I guess he wants to ask. So now, since we know you can hear us, go ahead, Will.
All right, so basically it sounds like what you're talking about is through science they're learning how to rip holes in time. And,
essentially, yeah.
And make it possible to see something that happened in the past, present, or future through portals of time.
Right. And there, I don't want to, because I always don't want to get too heady on people, but it has to do with some of them. And we're just starting to get to where we've been able to identify things like gravitons and all these different particles. but each of these particles have a set of values and a set of behaviors on how they work. And so when you start getting into things like how do ghosts pass through the walls, how do they do that? That's where you want to look. That's the science. That would be, for that particular thing, the science you want to look at. When you start getting into multiverse and in time and things you were just talking about, that's, again, you're looking at physics and trying to look for the explanations of how it's happening. Now, when you come down to it, as much as we talk about all this stuff, you obviously have the emotional side and the spiritual side of it, which is just as cultural side of it, which is just as valuable. But yeah, it just all is just going to intertwine. And I just always have this fear that I don't want to see us, we live in such a digital age that I don't want to see
where
us.
cell phones are glued to people's hands?
Yes. But it's like, if we can't, we have to put the stock back into the fact of going to the feelings and our own consciousness, because I really think that there's a different type of evolution that's also occurring with us as individuals. Mm-hmm. So you are kind of like spiritually, if you will, becoming more enlightened and more in tuned to everything around you. And as much as, again, how that sounds, one way kind of spiritual, but let's swing that back into, and that's what I like to do, tie it together with science, is that if you will think about something like the Big Bang, okay, this is how, and I do believe in God, but in a science way, that this Big Bang and everything started and burst apart and, simplifying everything, and the universe starts. Mm-hmm. Quantum, they're talking entanglement. Everything is connected and responds equally. And it doesn't matter how far you separate the particles, they will always stay related and respond. So I guess the one way would be saying it is sort of like, for somebody to imagine, you get a set of twins, one's on the East Coast and one's on the West Coast. Mm-hmm. You poke the one on the West Coast, the one on the East Coast feels it. So there's that constant entanglement and reaction. So if that's the case, and we're entangled with literally everything around us, in our DNA, in the actual makeup of our DNA, there's a physicist, I can't think of their name. There's a husband and wife, like a physicist, and I forgot what the other one was, where they have a book, I think it's called Living with the Stars, where they talk about the fact of, in our DNA is the same, we have the same things make up, not obviously across the board, as the stars. Mm-hmm. So we're all entangled and entwined. And so if you have these, that in a weird way, science is telling us that a lot of what we experience or think of as spirituality or metaphysics, like psychic medium phenomena, it really does have a tie-in to science in being entangled with everything else. I don't know if that made sense, but I was trying to make sense, but I hope it did.
It does, but again, there's just too many questions that we can't answer at this point. So it's hard to really sit down and go, okay, we know this, because like you said before, there's a lot of things that we think we know, but there's a lot of stuff that we don't know. And there's probably stuff that we know that we don't even know we know.
Exactly.
Which sounds really stupid, I know, but
No, it doesn't. It's one of those. It's like I always tell the students when I start a class, I'll be like, a lot of you have come in here with a lot of questions, and I really hope that on the last class when you walk out that door, you have the answers to those questions. But I've really done my job if when you walk out that door, you leave with more questions than you came in with.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's really the point. For every answer, there's 10 more questions.
Right.
And that just is endless.
So then I started thinking after I was talking about what I just said, I started thinking about, well, when you were talking about how it may be possible to be in different places at the same time, if it all exists at the same time, can you be in multiple places at the same time? And if that's the case, can you see your twin try and poke you? You know what I mean? And then just go, hey, don't poke me. What are you doing? I can see you.
Because you'd feel it.
Yeah, I mean, you would know it was coming. You know what I mean? It's like, and then you would already know that it happened because you can be into the future too. So you could actually go to the twin right after she thinks of it and go, hey, don't do it. Don't do it. I already know you're going to do it.
Right. Well, let's kind of change gears a minute here so Dave's head doesn't start to hurt too bad. Because I see all the way from over here, all the smoke coming out, Dave, because you're over.
Oh, you can see it? Oh, no, that's bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's overtaking the clouds.
At this point, we can actually start to smell it.
Oh, that's not good.
So let's change gears. I want you to be able to also talk about some of the books and things that you have going on, because I saw that you're an author.
I have a book called Continuum, which is available at Barnes & Noble and Amazon. I'm wondering if that's me now making this buzzing. Do you guys hear that?
There's a little bit of static that I think might be coming from your end, but it's hard to pinpoint.
I know. It's like I'm trying to see if it's the headset or... All right, I'm just going to try not to move. I don't know.
I'm never moving again.
But I do. I have a book Continuum, and that was just kind of a passion project. In that, there is some pound.
Yeah, it sounds like there's like a little man running around in your phone.
All right, now it just stopped again, and I don't know. I'm like, what is that? I'm looking around going, what is that? It's a phantom. It's a ghost machine. So anyway, going back to this, the book was just really kind of a passion project for me. It does involve time travel. It starts in 1992. It's kind of and then it goes, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry that this is making this noise. And then goes back to the 50s. So it's just been, it's just really a fun and adventure and romance and all that sort of thing. It is not the book that often people will think because they'll hear me talk in one way and think like this is some sort of, factual. And I'm like, no, that's coming somewhere up the road. But yeah, this was just something I wanted to do and just really enjoyed doing it. And it's just a kick, it's a really big kick to see people's responses to it.
Yeah. Is that the only book you have out then, or? Uh-oh, did we lose everyone?
She ate her phone. Mary just ate her phone.
Mary?
She's still chewing.
Well, apparently, I don't know what happened, but she said that for us to hang tight. So, well, hang tight.
Yeah, she just doesn't want to be rude and talk with her mouth full. That's why.
Yeah, But yeah, wow, what she was talking about earlier, I think really made your head hurt, didn't it, Dave?
Well, it's like she said, it just snowballs. I mean, you can come up with so many different questions, and a lot of people, that's how it starts, and then people develop the theories, and then the theories are tested, and then more questions start, and that's how it is.
Can you hear me?
Oh,
Yes.
there she is.
Okay, what I just did is I pulled the headset off from the laptop, and I'm going over just through the speaker, so it might not be great sound, but at least you can hear me.
Yeah, it
Yes,
sounds
we
okay.
can.
Okay, good. Sorry about that.
It's okay. Well, I just thought you ate your phone.
All right, now I'm back in here. Yeah, so anyway, that is the whole thing with the book, and I'm enjoying that, and having when people read it, because it's something that came, a different thing that came out of you creatively. And when somebody's like, oh, I just really loved it. I mean, I've had it from teenagers to older people. And so, yeah, that I get kind of nerdy and excited more probably about that than some of the other things. But
Now, is that your only book, or do you have other ones? Or
that is the only one. I am outlining and beginning to write a sequel to it.
Oh, okay.
That really, because people got to the end and they were like, oh my God, I love that ending. And I had more than one person kind of say, or was it? Hint, hint.
Uh-oh.
It started making me think. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so I'm like, you know what? Now I know even that much more. And I really want to take this next book more into more science fiction than the first one was. And really involve, because what I did in the first one is it's historically accurate to those periods of time, but it's also whatever science is talked about in there in relation to time travel was accurate to that time period. So in this next one, she might bounce around a little in time, and so that allows me to get into all kinds of the crazy, weird stuff we were just talking about.
Nice.
Oh, goodness, I can't hear you.
Did we lose y'all, or are you still there?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
No.
Everything got really quiet there for a minute, so I thought maybe we had some technical issues again.
I know. I'm sorry. That's why I'm like, was doing the same thing. I'm like, it got quiet. Can you hear me?
I think Will's looking up your book right now. That's what he's doing.
Yes.
So he's reading more about your book. You got him curious,
Well,
which is a good thing.
So on the cover, is that you as a little girl?
No. Yeah, I'm not telling, but no.
Okay, I was like, maybe, there's a little similarity there. I don't know.
Yeah, I've had people say that, and I said, I'm like, no, it's not. And I just leave it at that. But yeah, that's one of the reasons it was like trying to. It's like personally, and that was the other thing, because like it's me. Obviously, I am on there, but younger. And I felt really weird doing that, I'm like, I swear I'm not narcissistic. It just,
right.
I don't have to pay somebody or have rights to anything. It's my own image. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I actually don't like that photo of me, but it matched for the cover. So there you go. That's
there it is. Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
Well, how long have you guys had your show on?
We have been doing Mysteries Explained for a little over 2 years now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we've been at this for a little while now. As you can tell, we're still learning some of the technical parts of it and still have problems, but we like to blame Skype for that, but Skype, don't listen to that.
But it has gotten better because we did change networks, and we don't have as many problems as we used to have.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what? I started out when I started with radio. I was actually working out of a land station in Wisconsin, And even at the radio station, like the real land, there was always problems.
Oh, yeah.
It's just the nature of the beast. There were just times where all of a sudden something would go wacky on the panel, and so it just happens. And I don't know that it ever really stops unless you are, a very well-to-do radio station type thing, and you can afford all the really expensive stuff.
Well, I've heard actual radio stations have issues too, so it's just life in general, I think.
Well, that's what it is. It's just crazy. Used to do a 4-hour show, and then people would call in the station, and just randomly, all of a sudden, the phone system would flip out. So you just never know. Stuff happens.
Yeah. Well, we got a really good network and producer right now. As soon as we let our producer Stan know about the issues we're having, he corrected them pretty quickly for us. So we appreciate it, and we try to keep things going as smooth as we can. But like I said, live is always fun to do because of the fact that when you have the problems, you can't go back and correct them, and they stay there for the end of time. Unless we do some of that time travel thing, then that might work.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. And then here you can see, and you got your stuff at your end fixed, and then your guest, like me, then all of a sudden starts having some sort of headset problem. So
it just happens. We just go with the flow and try to make the best we can out of it.
Right.
Like I said, that's what you get for having live. So yay for live, but it's all good. We enjoy it. We have fun with it.
I always enjoyed live. There's more, I think I don't know, it just seemed more interesting often than when I was doing it straight up podcasting. And so you're pre-recording essentially. And then, making it available. Of course, you could do the live and podcast too, but you know what I mean? And you're not doing live. And there's something to be said for having it live. I think there's a little bit of a extra, maybe it is the excitement because you don't know what's going to happen.
Right. And that's for sure. We never know from moment to moment what's going to happen, if things are going to go right for us, if things are going to go haywire.
And if it does go wrong, you can't go back and edit it out.
No, you can't.
Right. Well, you can in the not in the live, but on the podcast you can. You can go back and record.
Well, unfortunately, we really can't, because as soon as this show's actually going on IPO radio right now.
Not IPO, honey, Spreaker, and then it goes to iHeart.
Or iHeart, sorry, iHeart Radio.
Oh,
It's on iHeart now.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Right. So then you are, yeah. It's that's right. I forgot.
What is it on iHeart right now? Will's like showing me. Welcome to magic of live radio again when he's trying to show me. Oh, yeah, Stan agreed that it's live on iHeart. I didn't know we were live on iHeart.
Yes, as soon as it's broadcasting here, it's going on iHeart.
See what I know?
Nice.
Wow. We actually have a question in the chat room. It's actually from my friend John. Hi, John. How are you doing?
What up, John?
He's asking if your book is on audio.
It is not. I actually would want to do that because, for obvious reasons. I mean, I think I actually even have a friend who is legally blind, and that's what she does all the time, is she just listens to books. But I don't want to just sit down and read it. I have this, and therefore it's not getting done, is because I have this notion that I'd love to see it like old-time radio theater. Meaning,
oh, yeah.
Right? Where
like the old War of the Worlds thing or something.
Yeah. Where each
that would be awesome.
Their own voice. You don't have to get overly crazy with sound effects or anything, but just at least have that you're setting a mood and having at least each character have their own voice. So everything has it's like you're listening to a radio play.
Mm-hmm. That's a great idea.
So that's kind of what I would like to do, and because of that and what that involves, it has not gotten done yet. But I hope to do that. I would love to see that happen.
Spelling loud.
Yeah, you gotta set aside a little time for that one too, because those are never one take things. So it's just what it is. But that's a great idea. I would love to listen to that myself. That'd be fun.
Will loves to use my name as he posts things in a chat room, and he's saying that for a few bucks more, we will read it out loud for you.
See,
Sounds like an advertisement there.
My laptop is not the greatest, so I avoid, which as much as I would love to. So anybody who is in the chat room, I'm sorry, I don't see what you're writing. So I'm not trying to be rude. It's just that I'm afraid it will drag the bandwidth, will drag Skype down if I dare go on the website and start looking at the chat. So I don't do that. I'm not doing it for that reason.
Well, you have John saying that, if it would be on audio, he would, definitely listen because he's a truck driver, so he likes to listen to books as he's driving around. So
there you go.
Oh, what's up, John? You don't watch Netflix? Come on.
People aren't like you, Dave, and they don't try to, run.
Well, but I listen to books and stuff too. I mean, I do that too. It's just depends on what mood I'm in,
Yeah, well, you're not supposed to be watching
TV. Yes, I keep trying to tell him that. Especially
if you're driving a truck. Thank you, John, for listening to books. Because
for not being like Dave.
if this how many ton vehicle is behind me, I really appreciate you just listening to a book versus Netflix.
Especially listening to your own book, like your book. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, there you go.
You can always read while you drive.
No, that's as bad as girls doing makeup as they're driving. I'm sorry. No. You're supposed to be behind the wheel actually driving.
John says he can't read anyways.
He says he's a truck driver. He can't read.
It's got to be in the shape of a symbol.
Like hieroglyphic.
Yeah, so there's an idea. Get your book on audio and then, write the sequel to it and have another book on audio.
Yeah.
So if you did the recording of the book in the way that you had just mentioned, would that be something that would come across as a live broadcast somewhere? Like even if it was just on like a podcast or somewhere live on the internet, would you do it that way, or would you just record it that way for people to listen?
Well, there's places like Nook that do audiobooks.
Yeah, I've not been asked this question before, and I don't think you can, because then what would be if you broadcast it? What I should
and you're giving away your book.
It's like giving it away.
Right.
You want people to hopefully read too, but that might be. As you said that now, I'm thinking maybe that's an option to do once the second one is released, is to do a one-time just, thing where it's broadcast, but just so that people can't download it and keep it.
Right.
But that could be kind of fun because interestingly enough, the first book, when I wrote it, it really plays out well because it plays out like a movie. So that's why I think the audio thing, I've wanted to do it that way with the old time, theater thing, because I think it would play well that way. But yeah, that's kind of, wow. You got some good ideas.
Got you thinking now, huh?
Yeah.
Well, and you got to remember too that there are a ton of people that still prefer to curl up and read a book. You know what I mean? It's something about that physical book, that paper in their hand. They still, they still crave that. So, I don't think you would lose those people. You would probably gain them, on the other side. But I don't think they would just go, oh, well, I heard that, so I don't need to. Because there's something about being engaged with that book that it just keeps people, coming back and coming back. So I don't think it would really hurt it too much, but I do see the point in bringing that up, though, for sure.
It's interesting because we do get stuck in our ways. When it comes to reading a story or of any kind, fact, fiction, whatever, and I'll say book, I am one of those people. I like to have the book in hand. I don't do the Kindle. It just doesn't feel right to me. It doesn't.
Right. You can't lick the page on a Kindle, right?
You can lick the screen.
Yeah, I guess. It's, yeah.
That would be what Dave would do, probably.
No, I am not no.
Oh, that's right, you're German.
You should know better than that.
I think the difference between listening to a book and reading one is when you read it yourself, you become more engaged in it.
Oh, yeah.
And your mind takes you into the book opposed to having it read to you.
Right, because it's just like everything else that you're listening to. When it's done, it's done. But, I mean, well, at least that's the way I would see it. If I was listening to it, then in that moment, it's great. But as soon as I stop listening to it, I'm no longer thinking about that. But if I'm reading a book and then I stop reading it, it's going to be in my brain. I'm going to be thinking about it probably throughout the day, or something's going to come up and go, oh, yeah, kind of like in that book, or whatever. Maybe not. I don't know, but that's the way I see it. When I'm listening to something and I'm done with it. Unless it's like a favorite song or something, of course, it's going to be in your brain all the time. But reading it, you're right there. It's you and the book. There's nothing else going on. If you're listening to something like John's driving, which is great for driving because what are you going to do, right? But
you need something to keep yourself entertained.
Yeah. So, but
wait behind the wheel.
Right, but
That's
you're doing other things as you're listening, so you're not. It's just not you and the story, or you and the book. It's you and everything else and the book. So.
Yeah, and the weird thing is though is when it comes to reading things like articles, I think we're so used to because of our phones. I have no problem sitting there reading entire the old magazine, but like blog or whatever. I don't know how you refer to it, but articles. Mm-hmm. When it comes to a book, a story, I want the book. And I'm not one of those that will listen to the books on audio, partially because I am not an audio learner, meaning that you can tell me something for 30 minutes, explain something, and I'll be like, and I've had people go, well, I'm trying to tell you, no, just let me read it. Give me 30 seconds. You can spend 10, you can just spend 10 minutes telling me, give me 30 seconds to scan over this page. I got it. But so I think with the audio book, I enjoy it again more reading because of the comprehension and, like you said, really taking it in.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Mary, before we let you go, we usually ask our guests this, and I would really like to know, what is it in particular that did get you in to the paranormal?
There isn't one thing. There's a series of events that, I think a lot of other things we have maybe some various experiences of one kind or another over the years. And that curiosity just always stayed and grew and drove into the field. And it is, once you get involved, it's like a drug in that you're just I'm so intrigued by it. It is in a different way, not to be cliche here, but it's sort of like the book. I can't wait to turn the next page and see what's going to happen. And that's how I feel about the paranormal field.
Yeah, and I think that's true for anyone that's involved, truly involved in the paranormal. That's exactly, it's part of you. It becomes part of you, and you're part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and before we let you go, we always ask the guest, we want you to let all of our listeners know where they can find you at.
I would say...
She's in Illinois.
That's stalkering. We're trying to avoid the stalking.
I'm at 123.
Yeah.
Yellow Brick Road. You can get information at theparanormalmd.com or theparanormalmdradio.com. I'll be honest, I fail at keeping a website up often, but nonetheless, you can contact me through that and usually lead you to all the other multiple social media accounts that we have nowadays and find out where I'm going to be speaking next or, what's going on.
Right, and I did put that information in the chat room too for everybody to click on too, and the YouTube page as well, so they can go there too.
Oh, thank you.
Sure.
Well, we want to thank you so much for your time tonight. Hope we didn't keep you up too late and wear you out too much.
Well, you did not, and I hope I didn't bore you with.
Oh, not at all. No, not at all.
No, you just made Dave overthink and made him
it's
even worse.
Yeah, I'm not
going
to sleep tonight probably. So.
Well, thank you guys so much for having me on. It's been a pleasure. You guys are awesome.
Oh, you're awesome.
It was great having you on the show.
Absolutely.
And I know you're friends with Will and I on Facebook, so we will keep up with you on Facebook and would love to have you come back in the future.
Sounds great.
Or the past, or the present.
Or the present.
Or all of them at the same time. That would be cool.
That was good. I already have. That's what we should say. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Mary, and you have a wonderful, wonderful night.
You too. Thanks for having me on.
Great,
good night,
thank you,
guys.
Mary. Take
Good
care.
night.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye. All right, everyone. That was Mary Marshall. And you can check her out at the Paranormal MD, apparently. I know she really made your head hurt, didn't she, Dave?
No, it's just one of those things. When you start, you can't just think about that for 2 seconds and go on with your life. It's just it's there, and it just keeps going and going and going. So that's obviously what my brain was doing. And the more she talked, the more, I am putting myself in those situations that she's talking about, but it's not really happening. So I get frustrated. I'm like, ugh.
And then you ramble.
It's
right?
possible.
It's possible, yes.
It's possible.
It's all good. But she was really interesting. I know that Will and I weren't really able to be heard a couple times. What did I do?
Uh-oh.
I'm still there.
Okay. Everyone can still hear me?
No.
No? Okay.
Well, you're not everyone, so.
Yeah. All right. I have no clue what had just
Dude,
happened.
that would be weird if I was everyone.
And I wouldn't be able to deal with that.
That's right.
I think a lot of people wouldn't be able to deal with that.
That's true. I don't know.
That's right.
My Skype did something weird again, like it was doing earlier, so I wasn't sure if I disconnected or not. But yeah, she had a lot of really interesting information, and it was very interesting. So we'll have to bring her back in the future and catch up with her.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So other than that, we got about roughly 10 minutes left, so we can do some wrapping up of our own and make sure that everyone is following us on Twitter at Mysteries Radio, on Facebook under Mysteries Explained, and then you can also find Tucson Ghost Company and Tucson Ghost Society on Facebook, and me and Will on there. I think your page is private, though, isn't it?
No, it's public.
Oh, is your page
Yep.
public now?
It's been public.
Oh, I did not know that you made your page public.
It's always been public.
Okay. I did not realize that.
Yep.
I did put the drawings that Will made up on Mysteries Explained, so as we were talking earlier in the show, please go check out his drawings and let him know that he can actually draw.
People are crazy. I cannot draw.
If people are not crazy, you can draw. It's annoying that you can't admit that you can draw.
I can draw a pretty mean stick figure. That's about it.
Oh my god. I can't even
That's
draw.
all it takes, man. You can draw.
Dude, I get the ruler out and I run that pencil right along that straight edge, and then I sit there and get the protractor out, and I find the perfect points to get those arms to go out, and I run a straight line on those. And then
You're
I
already
get
better than Becky. She doesn't even have arms on hers.
and then
Shut up.
and then to make the head, you get the chapstick cap out, and you put that down right in the middle, and you draw a circle around it.
Yeah. Okay.
And then occasionally, if you want to get creative, you just draw big clown shoes on the feet.
Big clown shoes. I literally cannot even make a stick figure. So what you do amazes me. And I posted it on my personal page, which is public, and tagged you in it. And now I've done it on Mysteries Explained. And people are commenting that you can draw. I wish you would listen to people. You should listen to your wife all the time, but apparently you don't.
No, you should not listen to your wife all the time. I have to interject.
No, you should.
No,
Listen to your
You
wife.
should not.
because then I'd be in trouble all the time.
You should listen to your wife. And
Mm-hmm.
it's not fair that I am outnumbered right now by guys. So, I wish I had more women around me right now, but you should listen to your wife.
Mm.
I think it's a pact that women have where they say the men have to agree with them at all times because they're always
Right, right.
I think a woman came up with that.
I bet.
And then it just trickled down over time to the guys just going, let's screw this argument because it's never going to end. You're right.
Mhm.
Whatever.
Yep.
Well, you're even being told in the chat room that you are very talented. So, see, that is coming from a man and not a woman. So, I don't want to hear it.
I don't know. If
But he didn't say at what.
It just says voices carry radio.
Oh, my God. Drive me crazy. You really do. You drive me insane. This is going to be never ending with you, I swear. I don't know. But anyway, it is posted so you can all see that he is very talented. And even if he doesn't believe people, at least you can all, see what I'm talking about and check that out. Next week we have Ken rescheduled, so he will be on our show next week. We'll have him back. We had him back in, I think, March or something like that on the show. And so he will be back. And then I want to encourage everyone to please listen every week, of course, because of the fact that we do have a lot of things coming up that we can't officially announce right now, but we will be able to.
You never know who we're going to have on until the day of.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, sometimes we throw them out there early, but a lot of times,
We usually advertise who we have on.
No, we're going to start keeping that a secret. That way, if they want to know, they got to tune in.
Oh, really? Then what's the whole point to making banners and
We'll call them mystery banners.
mystery?
They'll just be blank. Tune in.
Oh, my God. Well, if they follow Mysteries Explained like they should be, they know ahead of time. Otherwise, they're not going to know ahead of time, really. So, that will encourage them to follow Mysteries Explained on Facebook. They can have their little in on knowing what's going on.
And remember, everyone, listen to your wives.
Yes, of course.
And Dave, too, because he's going to be the grumpy old woman sitting on a porch one day.
Oh, that is going to be awesome. Oh, man. If there's some kind of magic pill I could take to make that happen right now, I'd do it.
It doesn't take magic, Dave. Just go put on a dress and go out to your front porch.
Well, yeah, but I have to be grumpy, and I got to be, super old to where I don't care about anything anymore.
Oh, thank God.
To get away with all that stuff,
Oh.
Because I don't think right now I could get away with putting on, a dress and sitting on my porch yelling at everyone that walked by. I think that'd be an issue.
Well, if you paint your eyebrows green and put a gray wig on, I think you might be able to do it.
Green.
You might be onto something. And put those old white shoes, those Velcro ones on.
Because if you paint your eyebrows green, you have to be messed up in the head.
I'm writing this down. Green eyebrows.
And make sure you pluck your eyebrows out first before you paint them on green.
Yeah, you have to. Oh, you can't. Yeah, you can't do both. No, it's not authentic that way. It makes me think of Mimi, man, from the Drew Carey show.
Oh yeah.
That's what I want to look like. Sitting out there.
I don't remember her having green eyebrows.
She had crazy makeup though. It was nuts.
She was bad. She would run her face into the wall, and there's a selfie.
Exactly. It was bad. I do remember that.
Oh my goodness. Wow, guys. And you say not to listen to your wives. Okay, then.
Well, what woman would put that much makeup on that they look like a clown circus?
Do I
We're
do
supposed
that?
to listen to her? Really?
Yeah.
No. But do I do that?
I don't know what you do when I'm not at home.
Right.
You really
As long
think
as
I go around wearing clown makeup when you're not
As
at
long
home?
as it's all cleaned up when I get home, I don't care.
Plenty of time to do a lot of things during the day, and it doesn't take much to take it off. So just saying. I don't know what you do when I'm not here.
You know earlier how you asked if the middle finger was extended? Guess what?
Oh, man.
Oh my god. I don't even own that much makeup to be able to do that.
You used it all this week.
Oh my god. I hardly have my makeup to begin with.
But there are color pencils and markers in the house.
Oh my god, markers? That wouldn't come out.
Well,
Are they scented? That would be awesome.
Oh, scented. No, they're not scented for you to come over and sniff, Dave.
Oh, come on.
Although Will was doing that in Walmart the other day.
Yeah, they don't have to be scented. Like, they don't have to smell like strawberries. I just like the straight marker smell. I don't care.
We were in Walmart, and they had scented markers, so I was pulling them all out and seeing what they smelled like.
Oh, yeah. You gotta.
Like they say they do, though.
Yeah, no, yeah, they never do. Yeah.
Except the black licorice. That stunk.
Gross.
Black licorice always does anyway.
Yeah, that's like freaking dumping your head in tar and going, "Yep, I smell it."
Oh, wow. Yeah, I was kind of curious to what he was doing because we were back to school shopping and
Well, that was your first mistake right there.
taking him back to school shopping.
You take a dude to Walmart and he's already bored out of his mind or something, and you're curious about what he's doing. You know how many times my wife went over and went, "Oh no, don't you do that! Don't you do that in Walmart right now? Let's go."
She got mad at me for picking one of those big balls up and throwing it at her.
Hey, I made a basket after you did that, though. So I don't want to hear it.
I was bouncing that ball around, throwing it, and then she took it away and put it back.
I
was
made
like,
a basket
"What the
when
hell?"
I did it, too, so, you know. But then you took it back out and you were trying to do it all over Walmart, and then, of course, the kids wanted to do it, and you're such a bad example.
Hey, it's Walmart. You can get away with anything there.
Walmart's a bad example.
You can
Look
walk
around in Walmart next time you go. Half the people in there are bad examples.
going and
Ew.
nobody cares.
Ew. No. No.
Get on a bike, ride around the store. They're not going to say anything.
Nope.
You're test driving it.
Just driving it.
You're thinking about taking a lease out on a bicycle.
Oh, my God.
5-year, 56,000 mile lease.
Yeah. Okay. Alrighty then. So anyway,
Vroom vroom.
I didn't know bikes did that.
No, you got to make that sound.
You get those little cards, those little playing cards, and stick them in the wheels.
Oh my God. Alrighty then.
Get the one with the banana seat so you can pick up hot chicks on the way down.
Right.
Excuse me, you both are married.
I don't even need the banana seats. They can be on the pegs on the back.
Dude, you're going freaking all out, man. That's like BMW bicycle there.
Yeah. You know what? I'm just gonna get a green machine. I'm going way back. I'm gonna get me a green machine. Ride around neighborhood.
With the handbrake.
Uh-huh.
No, my
Yeah,
God.
get the power slides going.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
That always gets them turned on.
Are you guys looking to pick up, like 13-year-olds? Because,
Hey, 26 is
and
the
I
new
don't even
13.
think that would work nowadays because I don't see people really riding bikes nowadays. It's not the cool thing to do.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
they
they're like
don't have
everywhere.
driver's
You can't
license.
even.
You're
I
already
take my dog out, dude. There's so many people that ride bikes out here. It's insane. Like I can't every day. Every day I go out at least twice a day to walk my dog. Which I'm going to do as soon as the show's over. I guarantee you, I'll see at least 15 people riding bikes. At least.
Really? Then good for you. You can blend in.
On my green machine, I'm going to stand out.
Oh, great. On that note, we need to start saying our goodbyes.
I'm going to
And
pimp
I'm
out
going
that green machine too.
Go ahead and start with you, Dave. What do you want to tell
I'm
people?
going to have curb feelers on it. It's going
Oh my God, Dave. Get off the bike.
Oh my God. It's not a bike, it's a green machine.
Oh my God.
Anyway, yeah, no, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in, hanging out with us today. And thanks to our guest. She was awesome. She had a lot of cool, interesting things that are going to make me not sleep tonight. And I appreciate that. And I hope everyone has an awesome, safe night. And they join us here on Thursday again next week and the week after and the week after and blah, blah, blah. And make sure you check out Wiregrass Haunts on Tuesdays, and make sure you check out Voice Scare Radio on Wednesdays. Great shows, great people. Do it.
Okay, and Will.
Make sure you power slide your way in the next Thursday show on your green machine. Until then, we'll see you.
Wow. Okay, then.
And the curb feelers. Add the curb feelers.
Oh, you got to. You have to.
I think I need to get a woman co-host to help me out on times like this. So if anyone would like to volunteer.
She's just jealous because she's too embarrassed to power slide on the green machine.
Yeah, she hadn't figured that out yet.
Yeah.
Do I use my feet? What do I do?
She keeps pushing the handle down.
All right,
other
well, I
way.
want to thank our audience for putting up with you two and for tuning in tonight. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. We'll be back next week to listen to Mysteries Explained with Becky, Dave, and Will. And until next week, remember, good night, everybody.
Good night, guys. Take care.
Looking back at the years gone by like so Thank you.